What's up, and welcome to the Movie Bros show. I am Remy, joined by my co-host, Josh. How are you doing, Josh?
Man, I'm doing great. Um, doing wonderful today. Today I'm gonna go by Jay Dizzle.
Yeah,
Uh,
Jay Dizzle. I love it.
Jay
Love it.
Dizzle, given to me by St. Joe ER staff. So,
Okay, there you go.
um, it's a nickname for today.
Rock on. Well, as they can probably already tell, we're kind of in a newer setup, a different setup than our previous episodes. If they're listening, I don't know how much they could tell, but if they're watching, I know they could tell for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And I'll tell you what, man, I'm pretty excited. There's been a lot of good movies out lately, and yeah, I can't wait to really get down on some. Uh,
Oh yeah.
yeah. So,
I'm
Eddie, and
excited once we get these first four episodes out. I really think it's gonna just, invigorate us to make more episodes and be able to do stuff like maybe we'll do like a live watch sometime where we actually watch something. We tell you when to press play. Of course, we can't share the sound and the video because it's all copywritten, but if we tell you when to press play and you watch a movie along with us, or
yeah,
you watch a movie and then
you can
we
follow
just
along.
have
Yeah,
watched it too. I think that's a great idea. So
yeah, certainly. I have some kind of watch party or
yeah,
you can do with your friends.
and maybe
It's
we
fun.
just take the highlights from watching it and edit it down into something more like watchable, like have them watch the movie, or I don't know, all sorts of things out. But Um, for this first part of the show, I wanted to talk about maybe some upcoming movies that maybe we are really excited about. I've shared a lot on the Instagram recently about just movies that either I've rewatched or I'm excited about coming out. So I figured that would be a good one to kind of talk about. One of them that I'm just gonna mention here that, is coming out soon, that I would like to watch, is Vesper, and I'm pretty sure you told me about that too, that you were excited as well.
Yeah, so I saw that one. Um, it reminded me of the oh gosh, I'm gonna start losing my mind here, but it reminded me of the movie that we saw together with Nicolas Cage, and he's kind of in that house, and the lady transforms into the demon and all that.
Oh, yeah, the
Uh,
Color
the
Out of
color, of,
Space.
there you go, the color of space, right?
Yeah,
And um, just kind of really had yeah, color out of space. It really had that feel to it as far as Vesper goes, and you know at least the trailer. So that's something good we're watching up pretty soon.
yeah,
Fortunately, I'm seeing it's only got like 3 stars, but I never trust.
yeah. Don't trust
I
the critics. I
I
just
never trust
can't.
the critics, man.
Oh, man, it's so hard. Uh Like I've seen critics review movies terribly, and I love them, and then I've seen critics review movies like, "Wow, this is amazing," and I hate it. So,
Yeah, yeah,
uh,
like like the Lord of the Rings on Amazon, but we won't go there. So we won't go there. It's thoroughly been beat down there. So
yeah.
actually, they didn't even cast the lead actress anymore. Did you see that? They had to recast her.
Oh, wow,
Uh,
really? I don't.
I believe so. I'm pretty sure I read that. The uh, yeah, I'm pretty sure that they recast her. But I'll have to double check that, and I'll get back to you here in a second.
Cool. Well, one of the movies that I'm super excited for that has been in the I guess the news recently is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse Part 1 is coming out, and I don't know if you enjoyed the first one as much as I did, but man, I feel like that was one of the best Spider-Man movies to date. And then now that another one's coming out, I'm just so excited. Uh, like it already looks so cool, and just the possible plot points that are in it, I'm just excited for. So, what do you
Gotcha.
think?
Yeah, so I love the series, man. I've always been a huge Spider-Man fan.
Mm,
Um, Man, I had the comics when I was a kid. So yeah, the whole Spider-Man series is interesting. The whole Venom, Carnage. I remember there was Spider-Man 2000, I think, a comic book back in the day where he was this like futuristic Spider-Man and all the timeline jumping and all that. And so certainly a cool thing, man. I can't wait for it to come out and for it to see it. So
awesome. Yeah, and then they also announced the Indiana Jones movie, the Dial of Destiny. Did you see any previews for that yet?
mm, yeah, so I did see just a still image of Harrison Ford
Mm,
and that Dial of Destiny. They also talked about how Shia LaBeouf's not going to be in it and how this character, kind of died off, or they explained why he wasn't going to be in that movie. Um, and I really like part four with Shia. Thought they did
yeah,
a great job, with the aliens and all that. So that kind of sucks, but he's had some troubles and stuff, and I get it. So it is what it is. But yeah, it's super excited to see it.
awesome. And then one of the other ones that I'm very excited for, that's supposed to be coming out there is Infinity Pool. Have you
Okay.
heard of this?
Yeah. So I think
It looks so crazy. Like I'm like, what a cool premise, like uh it's like you can either die for the crime you just committed, or because you're rich, you can pay us tons of money. We'll create a clone. It'll die in your place, and then you can take on a new identity. And it's like, huh? What? And then,
gotcha.
yeah. Um, and I think it's going to be pretty good. It's probably, um, I think it's going to be rated R. I believe that has said that already, but uh, just imagine like traveling to another country and realizing you just accidentally committed a crime that is punishable by death,
Mm,
right? It's like,
yeah. I mean, well, yeah, and with what Gabby Grainer or whatever her name is, was it Granger or Gainer that came out of Russia? We traded her for like a drug lord.
yeah,
Yeah, that it could happen. I don't remember.
yeah,
So it certainly could happen, man. And the
yeah.
rich getting off with getting murder and clones makes sense too sometimes,
Right, right, exactly. I'm like, if it was available, why wouldn't they use it for that? They would. I mean, corruption bleeds into everything.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't know. There's been too many movies about that kind of a thing. It just seems like it's a norm almost. Was it absolute power corrupts absolutely? That kind of
Right.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, what about the new M. Night Shyamalan movie? Obviously we did like a whole section priorly on the show about M. Night Shyamalan and how much we love his movies. But have you seen Knock at the Cabin?
I've not. I did
You
hear
seen the
something about it.
preview? Oh my
Um,
gosh. So imagine these people are on vacation, and all of a sudden people knock on your cabin and say, you're about to make a decision that will either save or destroy the world, and they believe the apocalypse is coming.
mm,
And then they have to make a decision, and it's like what happens from there. It's like first it's like you see this person out in the woods, and then I don't know. It just looks good. Definitely uh one to watch. It's like what if they're right? What if they're wrong? All sorts of craziness.
Yeah, yeah, and hope I'm assuming it's gonna be great. I mean, he doesn't really make a bad movie in my sense, or the history of watching M. Night. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, I bet it's gonna be great, man. I certainly can't wait to watch that and delve into his weird mind and figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
So, oh,
Another one I just want to mention for sure, the Dungeons and Dragons movie.
yes, I
I don't
saw
know if
that.
you're as excited as me about it, but oh man, just seeing the fact that, something we've played even together and enjoy so much, just taking life up on the screen, and the owl bear already in the teaser trailer, like the druid turns into an owl bear, and
Yes,
I'm like,
yes, yes.
that's super cool,
It's got some weight on it. I mean, it's got Hugh Grant in it, Chris
right?
Pine. Um,
And Hugh
you
Grant
know,
plays the bad guy, I'm pretty sure,
yeah,
which is
yeah,
cool.
yeah,
I'm like, what a cool nemesis, and it's like, I it shouldn't take itself too seriously, but also there's some things that it better not get wrong. It's like,
yeah, yeah.
it
So
has a lot
actually,
of
it's the directors are John Francis Daly, and he was a pretty famous actor back in the day. I mean, he did a couple good movies. I remember him from. Um, oh, he did Bones. Bones was the one I was remembering from the
oh,
show.
yeah.
He was one of the actors there.
Yeah, absolutely. He played, yeah, I know who
And
you're
the
talking about.
smart
Yeah,
guy in Bones, yeah. So yeah, we'll figure it out, man. I can't wait for that to come out.
yeah.
Man, he's just a
Uh
kid.
Right,
Uh,
right. He's got a lot of opportunity ahead of him if he keeps his stuff together.
Go ahead.
John Wick 4,
Yeah.
I mean, are they gonna wear it out? I mean,
Well, and
because
that's kind of where I was at with it. I mean, I sometimes it's like you get this really great concept, and I remember watching the second movie. I watched them all three at the same time. I didn't see any of them until I saw them all. Um, and then the second movie, there was a fight scene that lasted like 10 minutes. And I thought for sure I was like three-quarters of the movie's done. And I was only, 10, 15 minutes in. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is going to be a wild ride.
yeah,
And then three came out, and it was like, you know, watching one after the other, it was just kind of getting a little redundant, a little bit like, come on, man. There was like 50 guys. You get touched once, kind of feeling. Um, so I hope they bring it in four. I hope it's a fun story. They've got who's the antagonist? I think it's not Jet Li. It's the Donnie Yen
yeah, from The Protector, right?
from the man. And Donnie Yen is a phenomenal martial artist. I mean,
Yeah,
he did Hero with Jet Li. He did tons of movies.
yeah,
Um, so they got Donnie Yen, one of my favorite martial artists, and so hopefully they live up to the name.
yeah.
There's also supposed to be a spinoff. I hear some TV spinoffs.
Yes,
The ballerina, I believe.
yeah, something like that, or
Uh, Hold on, let me double check that. Yeah, the ballerina spinoff. John. Yeah. Um. So we'll see where that comes out. It's another revenge story, hopefully, and I just kind of saw a little clips of this and that. So we'll have to see where that comes out.
for sure. I know, movies on my watch list right now, like, there's just so many, like, I wanna watch and, get through, but, like, Glass Onion, have you heard of that? It's the Knives Out. mystery.
Oh, yeah, okay, so I did watch the Knives Out, and that was really good.
Yeah, Knives Out is fantastic.
It was, you know, I sat there and watched it with my wife, and we just enjoyed the crap out of it. So
Yeah,
there's a second movie coming out, is that what's going on?
no, it's like a spin-off of it. It's called Glass Onion: A Knives Out Mystery,
Ah,
and
gotcha.
it's on Netflix already,
Okay.
which is pretty cool. But yeah, I'm excited to watch it. Um, it's looked interesting since it got there, and I mean since it came out. It went to Netflix pretty quick, but I don't think that means it's bad anymore. It's not like straight to DVD or anything. I just
Right.
think they're like, "Ooh, we want that," and they paid more to have rights to it on their, channels, so I don't think it's
Yeah,
necessarily bad to see it on Netflix super quick or anything anymore.
I tell you what, and another star-studded cast, I mean, you got Daniel Craig, Kate Hudson, Edward Norton, who's just legendary in my book,
I know.
Catherine Hahn, I mean, gosh, to be on stage with all these great actors would just,
And then
that'd be a dream, man.
Batista
Yeah,
Batista shows up in there. I'm like,
yeah.
"What?"
So, yeah, I'll have to check that one out as well.
I think that should be on our list, for next time, we watch it before we get here at least. Glass Onion is on my radar, and then, right now it's Christmas time, of course, when this, airs, it won't be Christmas time anymore, but I wanna venture off from a movie, into a TV show, and I know that, we're called the Movie Bros, but TV shows are epic also. Have you watched at all Murderville on Netflix?
No, not yet. I saw another, that looked really good too, the, trailer for that.
Yeah.
And guys, I kind of, flip-flop between Hulu and HBO, Netflix, and, um, just kinda go around the deal. So, yeah, I'll have to get on my Netflix here pretty soon and start
So
pounding
once
some of these
once you're
out.
back, honestly, I suggest this at the top. There's not very many shows where I am just laughing my head off the whole time, and this is one of them. Like, so the premise is it's a murder mystery. It's a whodunit every time, and they bring in a new trainee to train under Will Arnett's character, who's like the lead detective, who's been a detective forever, right? And he's
Yeah.
like, um, and so like they bring in a special guest, and that special guest is one not given a script, has no idea what's about to happen, but they drop clues throughout for them to solve the murder.
Hmm.
So you can play along at home and help solve the murder. And sometimes they don't pick up on the clues at all and they're wrong and they'll tell them if they're wrong. Like they've gotten it wrong before, and it's like, "You are the worst detective I've ever heard of." And basically, they're fired, or they tell them they're the best detective, and it's like it's super fun. So every episode's new, and then they just came out with a Who Killed Santa Murderville special. So it's just a Christmas Murderville episode with extra special guests showing up and stuff, and it's fantastic. It's a fun ride every time. I mean, a little bit of language, but mostly it's like sometimes the dead bodies are just laying there, and they'll like tell them to investigate them, and then they'll go up and like start poking and prodding them, and they're actors, so they're still alive, right? And you'll see the dead bodies start to smile, or
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and like, or occasionally, Will Arnett, he'll break and like start laughing because they're putting the people in such weird, you know,
Yeah.
circumstances.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's like something that inventive and fresh hasn't come around in a while, and I'm like so happy to see it. So please check it out if you haven't.
So I watched Shadow in the Cloud for and it stars the oh, the girl that played um
Uh,
oh man,
Chloe Grace
there
Chloe
you go.
Grace Moretz.
There you go. And I'm kind of a fan of hers lately. I don't know,
Yeah.
but she's kind of made a series of movies, and this one's kind of a fun World War II movie with a little bit of a weird kind of a monstery flick, and it wasn't a bad ride, man. It was a lot of kind of it's just a fun ride. Like you just the mystery kind of opens up, and then there's some entities that come in, and then you realize what's happening, and the story unfolds. Pretty cool movie. It wasn't a bad. It's kind of a 3.5, 4 stars. It wasn't definitely a 5 star, but it is definitely worth a watch. And I'm a big fan of hers. Um,
Alright. I'll have to
so
give it a shot. It looks interesting, and yeah, like, I really liked her in The Fifth Wave.
right,
She was in that movie, right? And yeah, yeah, it looks good for sure. I just looked it up here, so that's awesome.
yeah, yeah. So she's awesome. Like Chloe Grace Moretz, right? That's
Yeah,
what.
right.
Right. So I
I
watched something else on Hulu that I really like was Only Murders in the Building.
Yeah? Well,
Yeah,
uh, I haven't given it a, like, watch yet, but I've heard so many good things about it.
yeah. So of course it's Martin Short and oh, who's the other
Steve
comedian?
Martin.
Steve. Yeah, yeah, Steve Martin, Martin Short, and just talk about classic SNL cast, and actually Selena Gomez. You'd think a young lady working with these veteran pros, who've done everything, been there, done that, done stand up, SNL, been the money maker, the prime or the first person in the movie, just making the movies, and Selena Gomez just kind of fits right in.
That's cool.
And they play these just kind of interesting, sad, and wonderful people who are into crime dramas and just trying to solve this mystery. So if you haven't checked it out, man, certainly it's worth it. Only Murders in the Building on Hulu. So
Awesome. I, um, I have a movie, that I recently watched, that I wanna talk about. I, kinda mentioned to you before we started recording, that I was like, I probably, better mention it on the podcast. So Emily the Criminal, it's on Netflix is where I watched it, and I was like, it's actually pretty decent, like, um, sometimes I can't stand, like, Jersey accents, bro. I don't know why. I don't know, I find them so weird, but, especially, fake ones where I know they don't really sound like that, but she pulls it off. You know how when it's an authentic accent, you know how, it'll just be like, they'll be talking and sometimes you won't even realize they're doing an accent because they just sound like themselves. Well, that is how she really did so well at it. So, I kind of just started ignoring that, started focusing on the story, and what a cool, just like it's like really like what would motivate you to become a criminal instead of trying to pursue things the right way? Would you still try to pursue it the right way? And then, like, what would kick you down enough to make you just want to be a full-fledged criminal? And then just think about the stuff like that. And Aubrey Plaza, man, she's really good, and it's worth definitely like a one-time watch. Um, the both performances, like her I don't know, love interest kind of, uh what do you call it? Like, the guy who introduces her into the crime
yeah,
syndicate or
gotcha.
th the dude that, shows her the ropes, he does a really good job. He, plays kind of a, just like, a sneaky character, and it's like, I mean, anyone could do this, like, just
Yeah,
get You wanna make $200? I mean, who would say no? It's like, all you have to
Right.
do is buy a TV. And then they're like, up front, they're like, "You're about to do something illegal. It isn't endangering anyone," and, yeah, that's it. So it's it's like, "Okay, so what do I do then?" Yeah,
You
right?
know,
Like,
I've liked Aubrey Plaza. I mean, I follow her Parks and Recs and
oh,
like
yeah.
her weird interviews with Conan late night, and she's really grown as an actor. I mean, you know, from I just really see her progressing and growing and growing. And it's really interesting to see him kind of young and then really kind of develop their craft. Um, and so, you know, I'm really excited uh, about her. And you know what's funny is that she's actually 38, man. She only looks like she's 26 or something. I mean, she's
Right.
just got
Yeah, she's
she's
just
got
a little bit older than me, and I'm like, "Man," like, she's
yeah.
she's so talented actress, and I'm glad that she was found, even if she was found a little late. I mean, uh, great, great deal for sure. And then I wanna actually mention another movie that I watched recently, and I was surprised at how, like, funny and just, like, action-packed it was. It's called The Big Four, and it is not an English movie.
Hey, all right.
Yeah, it is, but, it's dubbed for those of us who don't like to read a lot, but, I don't remember, where is it from? Oh gosh, where is it from? Into oh,
Indonesia?
yeah, Indonesia, country of origin. They speak Indonesian in it, and, it is a Netflix official presentation, so produced by Netflix, in Indonesia, and, basically, it's about the story of, an elite assassin, that is targeted by a murderous, gang of people, and, basically just everyone has, like, a backstory that's linked to each other, but, um then, like, imagine one of the main characters dies, which draws them all together for this adventure. And yeah, it's like surprise after surprise thrown at you as far as like cinematography goes. The fight scenes, the choreography is great. Like there's this one guy, the bad guy, he dances around and does the salsa uh
Huh.
before he kills you, and like it kind of makes you hate him even more. And then like there's some over the top bad guys in it. Like there's this one dude with like a metal eye and he just looks like bad to the bone. But then like I don't know, just all of the blood and just cool action sequences. It's definitely worth a watch. And that's another one you need to put on your list for when you come back to Netflix is The Big Four is what it's called.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just looking at the trailers, looks kind of funny. Kind of
It it is funny, and it's like, even though, like, I mean, the dub, obviously, it's like, you don't really get the jokes as well because they're not in your language, but it's like, okay, that's hilarious. And it's like, just the way they express it sometimes. Yeah, it's so good. I liked it a lot.
I challenge every user to go and watch foreign films. I mean, you'll be surprised how many foreign films came out and then we remade them in American films, or the idea came from a foreign film and then you'll see them kind of not copied, but kind of the same type of thing. Go watch a Bollywood movie. There's some great Bollywood. I introduced Kelly to His name is Salman Khan, one of my favorite Bollywood actors. Very famous. Um, One of the movies he plays a twin. That's one is rich and one is broke type of scenario, and he's a prince and he falls in love, and it's a 2.5, 3-hour movie, and Kelly sat through the whole thing, cried at the end. I mean, it was great. And it was cool to show that to her.
Yeah.
Of course, there was the typical singing and dancing and things like that, but just a beautiful movie. The colors they that match the Indian skin is just phenomenal. The colors they use, the shots, I mean, everything's high grade, and of course, a little cheesy comedy to go in there. Um, so yeah, I challenge anybody to watch foreign films. You kind of you're really cheating yourself if you don't, to be
I
honest.
mean, speaking of foreign films, like one of my top movies ever, Train to Busan, top zombie movies.
Yeah,
It alone, like I was like, man, this is just insane how good this is. And it's like I watched it in a complete other language and I still uh grasped it, understood it. And I mean, the thing with zombie films, if they're done right, I mean, just you're on the edge of your seat the whole time. And Train to Busan delivers, it exceeds in delivering that. And you think it's over and it's not. And then Snowpiercer, that
yeah,
was really good. That was originally, written as a short movie over there. And then,
yeah,
the director brought it and got Chris Evans and, they made the movie and then it became an HBO series, I think.
yeah. With
Or
Jennifer Connelly, if
yeah,
I
or
remember right.
AMC or whatever
Yeah,
network it was on. But yeah, it's like
yeah.
you would be surprised how much comes from other countries and we just adapt it and make it make sense.
Italian films, French films,
Yeah.
Korean films, Japanese films. I mean, some of the best films just come from other places. Not that we don't have great films here in America, but you just cheat yourself if you don't go out and just kind of broaden the palette for sure. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Like I remember being subjected to like um Itchy the Killer and Lady
yes,
Revenge and, all
yes,
that stuff as like a young kid, and I'm like, "Man, like, other people know what they're doing." That crap is scary. The fact that that dude could live down the street from you, it's like, that dude's scary. It's like, I don't wanna live by him, and, like, I don't know.
yeah, yeah. You know, Itchy the Killer was quite phenomenal. I mean, I saw that. It was the first time I saw where like exaggerated blood and guts.
Yeah.
Um, there's been a
Pouring
lot of movies.
the
Yeah, like
boiling stuff on the dude's back as he's hanging
yeah,
from the ugh, that sucks, man. Ugh.
yeah, yeah. So tons of shows, man. Tons of shows out there. Tons of movies to watch.
Oh, I gotta tell you
Um,
about another movie I watched. You might put it on your list. I don't know where you can watch it for sure. I think it's on Prime with like AMC Plus, but um, Sissy is what it's called. Sissy. And it's about these teen best friends, Cecilia and Emma, and it's been a decade since they've seen each other, and then they run into each other randomly, and you find out that uh, Cecilia is this like influencer, and the other person's like getting married, and so they go on this like gals weekend together. But then you realize that Cecilia was never actually really invited, and she's actually not welcome by one of the other people who are there. And it is uh weird. Like it turns out like I did not expect this movie to turn out the way it turned out. I was like, I'm just gonna watch that. It seems like it's like, oh, her high school bully is there and maybe she gets revenge on her somehow. That seems cool. Um, I was like, whoa. That it knocked me down with how, oh, okay. Yeah, it's crazy. So I don't want to give it away. I feel bad giving it away. Um
yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
no spoiler, but should just check it out. I was surprised at how ridiculous it became at one point, and I'm like, "There's no way. There's no way this is this." And then sure enough, this was this, and yeah, I don't
Okay.
know. It, it's fun. It's just a fun one to watch. I think it's a Shudder original too. Shudder is the
Yeah. The
horror
horror.
story, and
Yeah.
I don't like horror for as much of like you know, uh, uh,
I've kind of
or
gotten away from like the serial killer.
yeah, just killing for the sake of, like, just having it on the screen. There needs to
Yeah.
be purpose and motive, and, like, it needs to, like, be about, uh, mentally, like, reasons, like, what's driving this person? If you don't explain to me why this person's doing something, I'm not gonna care to watch it just happen.
Yeah. And lately, I've been kind of really turned away from where I'm gonna explain a scenario, and you probably can name 50 movies that follow it. So one, a couple gets lost in the forest, and then these random people just show up and start messing with them, right? I'm describing Hill Has Have Eyes, just those type of movies where, it's like you get lost or stuck somewhere, and then, you make somebody mad, and it's this kind of revenge horror type deal, So I'm over that kind of stuff. It's been played out. It's way too much.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, just kind of over it. So I personally like the monsters, to be honest. I like, Bigfoot and the scary, weird creatures, things of that nature. So that's kind of what I seem to lean towards.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I love, like, when it turns out to be a creature, or something, um, you know, like, unexplainable, and, like, maybe the movie doesn't even focus on explaining it. Maybe it is unexplainable. That's all you know, and I'm like, "I'm okay with that." If they do it well, I'm okay with you not telling me more about it. Like Cloverfield,
Yeah,
is one of my favorite, like, shaky cam, like, found footage type of movie.
sure, sure.
I didn't really like that genre necessarily, but Cloverfield and Chronicle, I feel like both of those went well above and beyond what that genre really encased, and, in Cloverfield, you barely find out about that huge monster and then the little ones that are infecting people, but they're scary, and you know hardly anything. So, I don't know, I think it's cool, like, when you don't have to know everything about them, but it's just something you get to enjoy, you know?
Yeah, I certainly enjoyed the Cloverfield series. I love the mystery behind the big, the grand scale of how big the migrating monsters were was just phenomenal. Um, just a great movie. I mean, just a great movie. Um, you know, love John Goodman in the second one. And it was weird how they tied it all together, the
I
series,
I
you
like that
know.
too. I thought that was
Um,
awesome.
Something I kind of think we missed, being that it's December 23rd. How about Avatar? Um,
Yeah,
I've yet to see it. Um,
same, same.
and I was kind of thinking of going to the like IMAX or a bigger screen venue to see it because I heard that it's really wonderful again.
Yeah, and
Um,
I've heard that it is invented or produced to be seen on a big screen.
right, right. And so I've kind of stayed away from it.
Same.
Um, yeah, yeah. So
Yeah, it's like
we
I
will
could
see.
just, watch it and, like, on a smaller screen and whatever, but no, I wanna give it, like, the big screen with the big sound. Sound design is one of my favorite things in a movie, and if the sound design is good, I'm like, I love, movies that have good sound design, makes sense, and all of that, so, uh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Another one I watched on Netflix that I wanted to share with you is Mr. Harrigan's Phone. And this was a little bit of a slower story than I expected it to be. I thought it would be about something, real like fast and, just like a mystery, but it's more like a mystery plus a relationship story about a boy and an old man who has no other friends. And just like he buys him a cell phone and that impact that the cell phone has on his life and everything. It's kind of like uh, I don't know, it kind of warns you about the dangers of technology and how it can really just encapsulate your life, maybe take control of you, and even make you do things you don't really want to do. And
Hmm.
just just put it down, just put the phone down sometimes and enjoy the people around you. So, um, definitely worth a watch. I would rate it probably like a 6.8 out of 10. And yeah, it's definitely watchable, enjoyable, something I would recommend.
Okay. Okay. You came up with some good suggestions here. I did watch a few movies that didn't kind of pan out. One second. Codename Banshee. And I thought it was interesting, and it was kind of just kind of an ex-spy that's trying to hide out, and of course they find who he is, so then he has to kill a bunch of people. It's pretty typical. It was okay for the watch, and it was cool to see Antonio Banderas and kind of do his thing, but
That was
nothing, no,
Codename Banshee.
yeah, nothing
Okay.
spectacular going on there. Um, I watched Gone in the Night. Um, that was with Winona Ryder, and just the movie fell apart. It just kind of couldn't hold you. I found myself kind of fast forwarding just to kind of figure out
Mm,
the end, you
get it
know?
over with.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Now, a movie I did like was Immaculate Room.
Oh
Um,
yeah, I want to watch that.
yeah,
The
it's
scenes
it's
are real
it's
good.
worth a watch, man. It was quite interesting about just the psychology of being in a room together for that long of a time,
Mm,
always in each other's face, nothing else, no other technology, just two people, and the bare necessities, food every day, but nothing else. And it was a great movie. It was really sad, actually,
mm.
in my opinion, towards the end, and without spoiling anything. But um, yeah, it was just crazy, crazy movie. I really liked that one. Um, not It's kind of a slow movie. It's not nothing for you're not gonna heart's not gonna race or anything, but just the dialogue, the actors were great. Really sold you on the emotions they were feeling, things like that. So yeah, pretty good movie. I really liked it. So
Awesome.
yeah,
That that sounds good. That sounds like one I definitely want to watch. I mean, just seeing the actors and even the cover of it, just looks intriguing. I added it to like my list of the ones that I want to watch and things. So like, um,
gotcha.
I've been doing that a lot more recently, is adding stuff to lists so I can remember to watch it. Because like sometimes I'll be like, "Oh yeah, that looks interesting," and then years later,
Right,
I still have never watched it because I forgot.
exactly. Another movie I really like was, and it's an older movie. It's 2020. I say older. It's 2 years old. It's with Kristen Stewart. It's called Underwater.
Yeah, I still haven't
Oh
watched that, and I want to
man,
so bad.
it was pretty interesting. There was some, you watch it and you be like, oh, that kind of came from Prometheus or that came from Alien type of scenario. What I did like, and won't spoil it for you, but the way the monsters attack, that was pretty neat.
Okay.
That gave me the shivers, man. You're just like, oh, right. And the whole being at the bottom of the world, man, and there's just nothing there, and then there is. So,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, Kristen
And
Stewart did a
honestly,
phenomenal job too. I mean, she had a shaved head, and you just didn't picture her in that type of a role. But she did a phenomenal job, to be honest. I really liked it. So
honestly, like deep open water is just terrifying by itself to me.
yeah,
So when you add a monster into the mix, I'm like, that's probably why I've put off watching it. I'm like, ugh, that's, I don't know. I kind of want to watch it with someone, but then also I just want to watch it. So, um, I
yeah,
watched another one. I don't know how to see the stuff that I've already watched on this. How do you see the stuff you've watched?
for Netflix or
Hulu. It was like a Nicolas Cage movie that I just watched on there. That was real good. Like it was a it's the I mean, it was what you would expect. Um, let me see.
oh, was it Pig?
Oh, I want to watch that.
Man, I don't know. I'm trying to kind of get into it, but
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think maybe it was a score to settle.
Okay,
Maybe.
I haven't seen that one. Nicolas Cage movies, man. Love the guy, wonderful actor, but it's like felt like he kind of got pigeonholed for a little bit, and he
Yeah.
was doing kind of the same type of movies.
That does it for this episode of the Movie Bros Show. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see ya in the next one.